You're listening to Peak One Sports.
Happy Friday and welcome back to the Sports Biz. I am your host, Tony. Man, I missed you guys last week. I want to give a shout out to Ashton. Thank him for filling in for me. He did a great job. Man, leave some comments below for him, man. Give him some applause, man. We appreciate that. Man, some of you guys know I was on vacation. Spent a lot of time with family and friends this summer, and man, I 1 week just wasn't quite enough for me, so I had to take some extra time. So hopefully I could come back fresh, for you guys, and just keep crushing it. Before we get into it, man, I want to thank all of our listeners, subscribers. The 100 subscriber challenge, we hit it, we passed it with flying colors. We knew we were getting so close. The big push by everyone in the network, thanks to Ashton and Joey and Cole, both guys with the Bungalow Sports Show. Those guys did a great job too, helping push and promote and get us here. And actually, the inspirations of this 100 subscriber challenge. These guys were like, "Hey, let's get there, let's push it." So applaud those guys as well. They're actually in the process of setting up their triathlon. If you guys don't know about that one, they got a few events they're gonna do here in the next couple months to just compete against each other between the two of them. So best 2 out of 3. Cole's talking a lot over there, so let's hope he can back that up and actually pull that out. Because if he doesn't, Joey will never let him hear the end of it. Again, we're over 100 subscribers now. We're pushing for more. I don't know what the next number is, maybe 200. But if you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can be entered. Where Ashton and I, through the leadoff, are going to be giving away a lot of Peak One swag, a lot of swag from other shows, from our sponsors that have donated. And not only are we going to do one grand prize winner, we're just going to start picking people at random and just start sending stuff out. We're just going to share the love with as many people as we can. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment as much as possible. Here in the next few weeks, things are just going to start flying off the shelves here at Peak One and heading to your door. So hit the subscribe. Make sure you get all the notifications from us and all of our shows. We're pretty much filling up every day of the week now, so be sure to hit that. I also want to give a big shout out and thanks to one of our big sponsors, Betalytics. If you don't familiar with Betalytics makes sports betting is sports betting simplified with an AI machine learning algorithm designed to make a powerful and profitable sports better. Accurate game simulations, player prop projections, and betting evaluations delivered on an easy-to-use dashboard. And still, you guys can still take advantage of the deal. We have a promo code PEAK1, that's PEAKONE, and you'll receive 25% discount on your first subscription. Visit Betalytics.com to get your betting journey started today. And speaking of Betalytics and their AI machine learning algorithms, I wanted to jump into some stuff here that, as times rolled on, and especially this year, we're seeing even more. How is artificial intelligence going to impact sports today and in the future? When you're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, there's a lot of worry in that of, are we trusting computers? Do we trust, remember I think I was a kid when the Will Smith movie was it AI or iRobot came out, and, they kind of took over, and, if we allow these machines and all of this, the AI and things to take over the algorithms, even now on your social media, your algorithms make so much of a difference on what you actually see. for us here at Peak One, we really do pay attention to algorithms and how that affects, because that's how you see our stuff is based on how the algorithms are. And we have to do the proper things to make sure those algorithms stay up to date and stay up so that you see them. So if AR were the way it's in sports now, and if it were to take off even more so, which we assume will, are we prepared for that? Are we ready for what the technology in sports can do? One of those big factors is going to be performance analysts or analysis on athletes. They can take all this video and data and programming built into the video and analyze the data about games, the opponents you play, your own performance. You could even see through that of just how you would have just a video, an eye in the sky, a video that you're going to be able to go back and watch video, but now they're building in programs that can take that data and pinpoint, placement and tendencies of what's doing, and all this can be done, and it's not done by human. It can all be taught and machine learned so that they could use this data to, change game plans. One big thing that I recently saw a documentary was in the NBA, where the NBA, I'm sure you've seen if you've watched a game in recent years, they have shot placements that are put, and where every shot's taken, it plots a point, and where every shot is made or missed, it plots it in a different color or something along those lines. Well, every NBA team has anywhere from 10 to 12 data scientists on staff currently, and the NBA adopting this plotting, formula into video. And, you see a lot of TNT and these other broadcasters and stuff can use that to kind of show, hey, this player's done this and here. And well, what they can take these data sciences, they even go into a deeper level with the programming they're using and through the NBA, that it can actually take and plot and place when plays are made. It'll take video clips of those, and it can take the data of what the result of that play was, puts it all together. You can actually use that for scouting, and they'll use it for game preparation. And the coaches actually will allow these data scientists to give them game plans, and they'll kind of evolve their game strategies based on what these data plans give them and show them on paper. And it's pretty wild to think that, that these coaches have been in the NBA for decades maybe, and that they're allowing this to have, they're letting these data scientists that probably don't know anything about the game, but understand the analytics and the, how the machine learning is working. And they're taking this. So what they can do is, say like on a pick and roll play, they can analyze that pick and roll. The pick and roll play is a very big play in the NBA. They can analyze this pick and roll play. And when there's the pick and roll, they can analyze what the results are of that play. And they can say, this player 47% of the time passes the ball. He won't keep the ball. He'll pass the ball. Or in this situation, at this time of a game, in this quarter, if they run the pick and roll, this player tends to keep the ball and drive to the hole, draw the double team, whatever the situation is. They, throw an alley-oop up, however that is. So what they can do is that then you can game plan against that pick and roll at certain times of the game, knowing what the data and the analytics tell you. Similar stuff now is even being tested and used in the NFL. For a lot of years, the NFL has used the tablets. You see those on the sidelines a lot, and players can go back and see screenshots. I don't believe they can see actual video. That's actually against the NFL's rules with that. But I think they can see still shots. And in the past, decades ago, they would have papers. They'd print off papers and flip. Now they can take that. But you can get data analytics based on coverages in certain areas of the field, in certain down and distance situations. And when you have that data, they can use that and analyze it and break down what are even the possibilities of what a team may run, or for the offense, what a team may defend against. Typically in that situation, it's all a chess game, and that this is even taking what that was in the past and enhancing it even more with technology, just as we see in all of our lives with technology. Technology just inflates everything that we do. But aside from those items, they can, we mentioned they can identify strengths and weaknesses. It can help you develop those strategies, and it can help you make those informed decisions, like we mentioned with the tablets and things in game, in real time. You can make game time decisions based off of what tendencies were coming into the fourth quarter of a game, and this is what they've done. They've gone off of their normal tendency, and it's evolved to this. So you can make those quick decisions in things that may take you weeks of film review for a person to do, and that data can be gathered, with artificial intelligence. And just as our sponsor, Betalytics, sports betting is big. The artificial intelligence and machine learning that goes into sports betting, they can use that information to analyze vast amounts of data. They can make accurate predictions. Man, for all of our listeners, use code Peak1. Your predictions. You're gonna have the best of the best information to make the best decision possible for you. Like Cole said, you don't have to use your gut. Don't be like Cole. Don't use your gut in betting. Use Betalytics. This can also help increase the accuracy of the odds and improve overall betting experiences when you have this type of analytics to use, and when they can do game simulations based off of players that are playing, based off of matchups, tendencies. All this information is used and can give you a very detailed and very informative information for betting. Some other big factors would be the fan engagement. You have AI chatbots can provide real-time game updates, answer questions, and provide personalized recommendations based on the fans' experience. You can get where, when the algorithms are used, and it can kind of pick up your tendencies. It can learn. So like when you're using social media, this is a very good example. Using social media, they pick up the tendencies of posts that you like, comment, share, even post if you're just scrolling through and you don't even have to click on a video. You just start watching a video, and it all of a sudden later on you're looking, you're like, man, why do I keep seeing this over and over? It knows the tendencies of how fast or slow you scroll across your feed, and which posts interest you and which posts catch your eye, and it tends to continue to feed you that. Same thing with this AI chatbot system, is that it can do the same things to give you a more personalized experience while watching a game. I have YouTube TV, and they have this catch-up feature. Like if you're tuning into a live game, and you missed the first half, or the first quarter even, it has this option that gives you to catch up with, to figure out all the features of the game. It's a catch-up feature that would give you the option to see the highlights, that kind of how you got to this point, and then it catch you up to the live stream. And what it does is it goes through, and it does use artificial intelligence to go through and pick clips of the game that would be like highlights or key plays, and gives you that series of key plays to catch you up, whether it was this big catch, this big third down conversion, a score here, a kick here, and catch you up to that point. So, essentially you could come into the fourth quarter of a game, just go hit this catch-up feature, go through the entire thing, get caught up, know exactly what you miss all the fluff of plays, and get right into the fourth quarter action, where all the excitement is. Another benefit for fans is the introduction of the virtual reality and augmented reality power technology that can make an experience be more immersive for you. Like we've seen with a lot of the virtual reality headsets and more of those. I think Apple just released, or is it just announced the release of a virtual reality headset. Is integrating that into your home watching. So if you're watching a football game, a basketball game, you could watch them through a headset, and maybe they have cameras set up in certain seat locations. And this may even be a thing that you purchase tickets to this experience in this section, and you watch the game live from there with the ability to, turn and move and see 360 around you in this VR system. That, to me, that would be a very exciting way to watch a game. It'd be very intriguing. I would try it out. I would definitely I would pay to have that experience just to see what it was like, and how real it could feel. That would be a pretty awesome way. I know now through even the virtual reality headsets, the Oculus and things, you could be watching us now on that headset through YouTube, sitting in a virtual room, sitting in a virtual living room, watching us on a TV. So make sure, if you are, hit the subscribe button there so you can continue to watch us in virtual reality, sitting or standing. One big one, and one that's has been very tested recently, is officiating. Officiating has been one for some time that they've been testing at different levels, and that I think there are a lot of good to that, but also there are a lot of not so good. And we'll get into those. First, AI has been used for years in detecting offside situations in soccer through video assistance, assistant referee technology, where they can they'll use video to help them detect and catch offsides where they're officiating officials, they couldn't see it before. Kind of think of something like if you were playing a video game, Madden or FIFA or any game, right? You're not going to have questionable calls. Every call, if it happens, if there's a penalty, it's going to be called. Nothing's going to get by. More sports will likely adopt such AI-powered technology to make a more informed and accurate calls, which, yes, we've seen with the technology used in, I don't know, a decade or more with the NFL in the instant replay. And then you're seeing some of that in the past several years in the NBA with instant replay. And now even the past few years with the MLB and instant replay. It helps them to get the calls right, but fans don't always seem to like that. You always, if it goes in your favor, absolutely you want it. If it's not in your favor, you don't want the replay. You don't want them to have the opportunity to go back and look at it. So that could be a bad thing there if you don't want more regulation and more ruling over. Yes, it will get the calls right every time, but part of playing the game is that human error that could be there. Something like, it's been really big recently. I know that there's some testing going on in different levels of the game. They could replace baseball umpires with virtual officiating to detect balls and strikes. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big proponent of this. I have a child that plays baseball, and you see a lot of these videos of youth officials being heckled and really their asses ridden on stuff. And I don't condone that. I don't believe in that. Not that I haven't done that, but it does seem that in recent years that the balls and strike calls in youth sports becomes a lot more swayed. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. They're not being more consistent. They're not. Their strike zones vary from batter to batter to inning to inning. The same kid could see very much varying pitches and in locations and then be called either way. So it's really a guesstimate. It's hard. How's a kid going to learn to hit if he doesn't actually know what a ball and strike is because we have bad officiating? I don't know how long it would take to ever get down to a youth level if it were to. But it very well could be. The technology's there. You see it like through video games. I know there's been some testing in other leagues, maybe even some minor leagues, where they haven't had a guy behind the plate, or they'll have one behind the plate and maybe he has in his ear and it's calling, he calls the play and it'll tell him in his ear what it actually was. And maybe something like that's good that they could use for training purposes to help these guys see, okay, I think this is a strike, but you're saying it's actually a ball out of the zone. Okay. Perception has a lot to do with ball and strike calls and where these guys set up and read. Well, if they set up in the same spot and they read, okay, this pitch is always going to be a ball if I see it here, that maybe that could help in the training purposes for these guys. But just like we mentioned, in basketball and football, they could use the technology like they're using in soccer that's been used for many years to help assist and analyze different game situations and provide recommendations to officials. Maybe there's a system that could alert the official, hey, we think we see a call. Let's take a look at it. Not that we want to slow the game down any more than it already tends to with reviews. But maybe you could get, some things like you do in hockey where you have, a goal scored, the light goes off kind of thing. Maybe you have a thing of when it's a touchdown and it's truly a touchdown, a light goes off and there's no questions asked. There's no reviewing it. The artificial intelligence, our machine learning tells us that's a touchdown. It's a touchdown no matter what. End of story. Same with basketball. These things can be used for shots where we don't have to go back and review did he release? Is it out of his hand? Maybe you have this machine learning that can say the moment it detects a ball's left the hand, a light goes off and says, yes, this will be a good shot if it goes in, or, no, it won't be a good shot if it's gone. That's it, and take some of that out of the officiating. We see a lot, especially go back to baseball, these first base plays. That's where we see most of the reviews is in these bang, bang. Did the ball hit the back of the glove before the foot hit? Well, you can use multiple camera angles with AI detection. When the technology's there, you can detect, yes, this was here, this was that. You kind of in a way, have that, and you see that in the video games. I really think that what we're seeing is a big transition from video games to real life, is where the video game can detect the ball hit here, the foot hit here, or the guy crossed the goal line here, or we have a holding call here. They're definitely working on that technology, and when that technology can adapt to dial it in where it's at an effective level, we obviously wouldn't want to see that come in and not have any bearing on the game and not be accurate enough to really be useful. Because the last thing anyone wants to see is this come in and these algorithms and these machine learnings, they're off and they're not properly catching calls and catching these things. So that would absolutely be a problem. We want to see the technology. A lot of what we see now, especially with Major League Baseball, they start to implement it in different minor league systems throughout the country to test out and see if it adapts and works well to real life before any of it. The pitch clocks and instant replay and the different bag sizes now that they're using to help increase just getting closer for stealing base purposes and things. And all of that stuff's been implemented at the minor league level. Could we start to see more of this in the minor league level, even trickle into college, trickle into high school, and maybe even down to the youth leagues? It could make the game fun, could speed it up. It could make sure that there are no missed calls and make sure that the true, the best team wins, not by a bad call or a judgmental call, because we've all seen that at all levels of sports. And lastly here, the training and skills development part of this. This has been used for a lot of years, decades. Like I said, I have a child. He's actually playing high school ball, and he's, some of this technology and stuff is used at this level now, and even into college and pros, where, you can use it for training and skill purposes in order to transform the way that you train and develop your skill based on how the movements of your body. Athletes can receive personalized feedback and recommendations to improve their performance. These things can be used, say, for golfers, pitchers, someone that plays tennis, many others, hitters, maybe even football players in the way that they move, that you could use this video technology with thermals, with, pinpoints on the body to see how the body moves and reacts in certain situations, and you can train those in order to help, help with golfing swing paths, you help with a baseball swing path. Maybe you can help with, pitchers, release points, tennis players, any of those. They can all use these things in this technology to help in that development, and also in strength training. I'm sure there's ways that they can adapt the artificial intelligence to strength training and using video analytics to work through and make sure, hey, you're dipping down too much here, and this can all be machine learned, where it's not a person in there saying, well, I think that's no. The machine can be programmed in as, this is it, dead nuts on, this is the spot you need to hit, and then you push up, and you're getting your full lift in that you need. As we continue to see AI technology grow and evolve, we can expect to see even more innovation in the world of sports. And I think the sky's the limit. I think it's a fun time to be a sports fan. We've talked about, the game of baseball's changed so much with all the technology and things that are going through it. It's a really fun time to be a baseball fan. I think that the more that this technology comes through, it's going to continue to be a great to watch football again. It's going to be, we're going to be able to use some of this technology maybe to help with injuries and keep guys healthy and keep them on the field and on the court, and on the ice. I think that those are the benefits we have to it. Obviously, there's tons of negatives to that as well, and there will always be concerns about privacy and data security issues, and technology. As it becomes more readily available to the public, there's always the possibility that you're going to have negatives, and you're going to have data breaches, and there's going to be some major issues that come into that. So those are also things that we want to keep an eye on, not just the positives that we can have, but as also the negatives, and how can we police those so that they're used on a good standard. Guys, I really appreciate you joining me again this week. I missed you last week, so I'm really excited to be back in the studio as we continue to push through these dog days of summer. I know it's hot. Everybody wants to be inside in the air conditioning, so when you are, make sure you subscribe. Check us out on Spotify. We now have Spotify videos up. If you aren't able to watch us in video format on YouTube or Spotify, you just want to listen to the audio version of all of our shows, check us out anywhere you listen. I think you can listen on Apple, on Spotify, maybe Google, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you should be able to find one of our shows. Pop us in, connect up to your car, listen to us on your drive in the mornings, on your drive in the evenings. If you're hanging out on the lake, on the beach this summer, man, make sure you tune into us. Just give us a listen. Until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend. Have a big sports weekend. We'll see you later, guys.